I spent an evening last night with Paul Suggett from Fat Cat Productions, and we've basically decided we're going to do like a little YouTube documentary on Hartlepool. I've spent obviously I did the first book, Hartlepool, Born and Bred, Mick Sorby. It's sold really well in Hartlepool, and I've started the sequel, and it's going to be this one's going to be, rather than just focus on Mick Sorby's life, it's going to be basically about Hartlepool overall for the last 50 years. Lots of funny stories, certain murders, certain deaths, robberies, on the cobble fights, histories of some of the families from Hartlepool, Hartlepool characters. So predominantly, I mean, I've spent quite a bit of time with Mick Sorby, Philly Tobin, and Alan Hay, who's better known as Algie, and it's just basically their take on, I suppose, stories that none of them. I mean, I think I describe them in the book as our the three of the oldest swingers in town, or three musketeers, but none of them are getting any younger. And they said to me that basically these are stories of a generation, if you like, in Hartlepool, that it's like an era, if you like, that they don't want to lose. And whether they'll be gone in a couple of years or 10 years, or a piano falls on their head tomorrow, they get struck by lightning, then there's these are they want the grandkids to read. There's a lot of humour in it, and it's going to capture that kind of Hartlepool mentality, if you like. Obviously, if you're from Hartlepool, yeah, you know what I'm on about. I'm not from Hartlepool, but I'm learning. I'm quickly learning. And yeah, we've touched on a lot of things, that some of the history of the town. For all the tough people in Hartlepool, I think the biggest thing you've got to be scared of is the sea. And I think that no more than the last couple of days kind of points out what's happened with that young lad, that terrible young boy, tragic, 14-year-old dragged into a sea, and what his parents must be going through, God knows. But that's been bred into most people at a young age in Hartlepool. If you're around the sea, you've got, listen. It's a you don't get a second chance, and that's just one of the many things. This book we've touched on Hartlepool being a proud fishing town, kind of like Grimsby, but that's almost vanished. And if you think of like taking people's living away, I mean, some people in Hartlepool can go out fishing for 4 days and come home with nothing. And if you don't catch any fish, you don't get paid. I dare say it's a hard job, freezing. I suppose you've got to be fit, and it's them men. They work hard, they play hard, and they'll go out drink and run for days. And that's very much a Hartlepool trait. It's something which it belongs in the history of the town, and it's sad because that's kind of going now. So this book will only capture all that, and a lot of the silly Hartlepool lingo, the humour. But we're going to do a documentary. So myself and Paul Suggett, Dan Walker, Fat Cat Productions, we're going to do a film, if you like. We're going to basically, I think we're on about filming it in the ship in Headlands. And it was just basically just going to be Mick Sorby, Philly Tobin, and Algie, and I mean, if you add all their years together, I was talking to Richie Ross the other day, and I said I was in their company when Jamie, I bet you felt young, didn't you? But them three, between them, they're, I think they were all born in the 40s or something. But, they've seen the who's who of Hartlepool, and there's lots of stories, lots of funny stories, lots of humorous, lots of sad, lots of tragic, but above all, it's what makes that little place so interesting. So we're going to do a documentary, guys. So if you keep following this YouTube channel, War Cry Publishing, we're on about maybe starting it in the next next month or so. It'll be free to watch. So, and as I said, if you're from Hartlepool, I'm sure you can relate to a lot of stories. Paul Suggett done one quite recently in Hartlepool, which kind of reflects on the homeless. That a lot of people in Hartlepool have it hard. Uh, these lads last couple of weeks have been telling me that when you grow up in Hartlepool, you've got nothing, and if you want something, you've got to learn to fight for it. And I think maybe that's why the Hartlepool people have such a sense of humour, is they can always bring a bit of humour in the fact that the plights have been kind of the card on the table being dealt to them, growing up in Hartlepool, is not as is it was with someone being brought up in Surrey or Oxford, and that's just Hartlepool's way. And I don't think many complain in the town. They just get on with it and take the piss out of each other. But anyway, guys, just to get back to my point. So that book, there's going to be a sequel to that. If anyone wants to buy Hartlepool Born and Bred, it's now on Amazon. It's $12.95, and it's very much all things Hartlepool, monkey hangers, Jeff Stelling, anything you think of Hartlepool. That's it's the book's in there. But the second book is going to be basically what's about the clues in the name, Hartlepool Born and Bred, and we're not going to be banging out Mick Sorby this time. It's just going to be the A to Z of being a monkey hanger. I don't know if that's a derogatory name for anyone in Hartlepool. I apologise. I grew up 12 miles in Teesside, Middlesbrough, so I'm not too sure on it. Forgive me if it's Mick Sorby and all. I said it's something that they used to, but yeah, this book's going to be like an A to Z of just Hartlepool. And as I said, the first book was well got. That the lads said to me, do you know what? There needs to be a second, and if it keeps going, how long's a piece of string? There could be Hartlepool volume 4, 5, 29, and years to come. I'm sure Philly Tobin, Algie and Mick Sorby will still be there writing more and more books. But it seems to have captured the Hartlepool town, and everyone's talking about it. And as a writer and a publisher, I think that'll do for me. So if anyone's greatly interested in the stories of mythical past, yesteryear in Hartlepool, folklore, all these stories that if we didn't write them down, some of them would have been lost. And with a book, as in with like the Lee Duffy ones and the Paul Sykes ones, then they're forever embedded. There's certainly on a social history part anyway. But anyway, yeah, the first book is out. Hartlepool Born and Bred 2 is going to be coming, and there's going to be a documentary made this year. And myself, Paul Suggett from Hartlepool Radio, Dan Walker from Fat Cat Productions. We're going to be, I'll be sat with Mick Sorby, Philly Tobin, Alan Hay, and we're just going to basically chat about some of the tales from yesteryear, from the estate, the manor, the headlands. Was it Ruby Gardens? All these kind of York Road, Church Road, Street. Is it all these kind of things? And it just all little bits just epitomise Hartlepool. There's all different kind of stories, and we'll be talking to different people and all that. But yeah, there's going to be a second book, Hartlepool Born and Bred, coming, and there's going to be a documentary. Documentary will be free to watch on YouTube. And as I said, if you're from Hartlepool, or even beyond Hartlepool, if you're from Blackhall, the Collieries, the Pits, the Peterlee, on Middlesbrough, surrounding areas, I'm sure you're going to find it really fascinating. Don't forget to click and subscribe to this channel, guys, and a massive thank you for all your interest, love and support. God bless. Don't forget, if anyone wants any more news on the Hartlepool Monkey Hanger projects, we're oh God, I can't believe that. There's a wasp on my hand. Sorry, anyone wants any more projects, any information on these certain things, then don't forget to follow. There's a Facebook page, and it's called Hartlepool Born and Bred -books. So if you just inbox there, get me on Twitter at JamieBoyle10, and feel free to ask any questions you like. But I'm sure there's going to be a few more things yet for for Hartlepool, because it's such an interesting little place, and the more you dig into the history and the people around it, it fascinates me greatly. It really, really does. So don't forget, guys, follow the Hartlepool Born and Bred page, click and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and thank you so much for your time. God bless.